If you don't know, then I'm gonna let you know. God is coming for all. He is exposing everything. The secret societies, guess what? There's no more secrets. Because God is a loving father, and a loving father would do what? He would not let his children be led astray. So all your fraternities, sororities, your Freemason, your Eastern Stars, Skull and Bones, and all the rest of them will be exposed. The Illuminati, everything.
That's why Freemasons use the checkered board floor, because it represents a state of consciousness. It's on the floor, symbolizing the ground level awareness, base consciousness, a mind only aware of the five senses. It represents being at the beginning of your spiritual journey, where the mind is fractured, divided, filled with multiple inner voices, shadows and personalities that must be confronted and unified. The black and white squares represented divided thinking, me versus you, right versus wrong, judging others internally, and a state of consciousness that gets you nowhere. That is a state we must rise from the checkerboard floor, ascending towards the all-seeing singular eye, unity of mind, and alignment with the higher self. The checkerboard floor also represents extracting wisdom from light and dark, good and bad circumstances in our lives. We have to extract wisdom and transform ourselves from this. Don't get it twisted, some Freemasons are evil, but the symbolism itself is neutral, because knowledge is not good or evil, it's how you use it. And that's why understanding symbols matter, and that's exactly what the Book of Symbolism is here to teach.
Okay, Minerva is everywhere in Delta. If you're not familiar with Minerva, it's called Minerva Pallas Athena. Okay, Minerva was known to be a goddess of war and destruction. And mind you, after we cross over, meaning you're reborn into this organization, a lot of Deltas take on the nature of this deity, which is why a lot of Deltas become aggressive. And we the knuck if you buck saints in the club. Amen. We're all of that. We're the aggressive ones. We're the wild ones, because you take on the nature of that deity. It's very similar when you have AKA that has Atlas and Dionysus. That's the goddess of wine and fertility and fun. And so you would see a lot of AKAs, which was beauty and pretty, but they be toe up, they be drunk in club. Okay, so a lot of you see Apollo, which is Kappa Alpha Psi, Jamal Bryant, Lord have mercy. All of these different pastors who are part of Kappa Alpha Psi, they take on the deity Apollo. And if you aren't familiar with the deity Apollo, which is why they call themselves pretty boys, well, Apollo was very much so known to have sex rituals and all of these demonic things, but Apollo was also an effeminate deity. Apollo was attracted to both men and women. And these rituals I'm about to name, they work you up to that final selling of your soul, because basically what we did is that we sold our soul, and that is why we got fame and riches and all of these things when we crossed over, and we became little gods on the canvas because we sold our souls. I mean, and we're going to share it with you because it's in the language of the actual rituals. And so, yes, we take on a lot of the nature. You know, Minerva is the goddess of wisdom, all these things. You have Athena, who is over destruction, war, but she also dealt with barrenness, lots of those things. Majority of my line sisters, including me, the moment we crossed over, we entered into high level promiscuity, abortions, drunkenness. All of these things became our nature quite afterwards. You know, we took on the nature of a lot of these things. Omega Psi Phi, the deity they serve is the Shekinah light of Omega, which is like Anubis, which is a very similar, it's a female god. That's why every time Omega talks about Omega, they talks about she, her, into the temple of the gates, swing ye gates, O open Omega, and they're serenading. It's like a bunch of strong men that are literally protecting that Jezebel deity, but also Minerva and Athena was Jezebel.